So we're gonna watch some cringe stuff. I feel like I have a little bit of a different reaction to cringe as most people. Like cringe is like currency right now in like the social media world. Like people will fake cringy things just to get more views, and they like create these characters that are caricatures of I don't know, just people who like don't quite get a lot of the social norms. And in my opinion, that's like super corny to me. Like people trying that hard to seem lame to get views. Like to me, that is more cringy than any type of person who's being their authentic self and just naturally being a little weird or off. Though there are some examples of this that are like pretty over the top. I'm on this one Instagram account that's called Cringy with a Q. It's this one right here. I feel like the most cringy thing that I find is the fake podcast stuff. I don't think any of that's gonna be on here. That's like legitimate, like wannabe finance bros or wannabe like life advice coaches where they just like it's literally this, but they're not actually on a podcast and they're like looking at someone who's not there and they're just like, yeah, whenever someone, and they like give themselves like a very loaded question that they know all the answers to make themselves seem really smart. That's the cringiest stuff online. Maybe I'll make a video about those later, but right now we're just on a classic cringy Instagram account. This one I think it is private, so you have to follow it. They missed the mark a lot. A lot of times I had like, I'm not even the most empathetic person, but sometimes they post stuff on here where it's just like people like really enjoying themselves and like being into whatever they're into and people just shit on them. Not the biggest fan of that, but yeah, cringe is currency. And we're gonna see what kind of honeypot we got here. So no, this is like a classic one. This one doesn't matter. This is just like the kid singing Britney Spears and he's just like being a goofball. It's not cringy. It's just like a child being a child. Okay. Okay. The teeth line up really well with the, like that's not even, I imagine when he made this, he saw how much it doesn't line up and he probably thought it was funny and posted anyways. If not though. That's not even, I don't know if that's cringy as much as it's just like really funny. It's a pretty good image. Anything with the Shrek kissing people, like this filter is literally meant for exactly this. The funniest thing about this thing being posted is this gif on the side where it's like Shrek being like, I feel like Shrek is love, Shrek is life absolutely warped the minds out of every single person in the world that saw it and their opinion on Shrek. Like it really sexualized Shrek in the worst way possible. That it's not ogre till it's ogre and this is my swamp. I feel like there's a lot more Shrek puns that could be made, but I'm not the one to take on that task. What do we got going on here? Like to me, that's not cringy either. It's someone putting a lot of effort into like looking like a bedazzled Santa Claus. Those stockings are crazy though. Hold on. Is that candy cane eyebrows? Even right here, can't find any cringe, just a man who slayered. Santa's come to an empty sack. Yeah.
Animal shelter to make new friends and to get free kitty treats. Shh, don't tell anyone. I don't want to get kicked out. This really cute Rottweiler I saw online. He looks like you'd be a great companion. My non-binary friend Carpet lets me come into the shelter anytime and play with all the cute little doggos. And I've been feeling extra lonely, so hopefully this will cure my loneliness. I'm really in my single era, you guys. My last relationship was so muddy, so I'm just taking a break and I'm just mingling now. But hopefully I find a cute dog trainer at the shelter. Hopefully he has a Rottweiler, because I feel like guys with Rottweilers are so sugoi. I'm also meeting my friend Addison Ray at the shelter. She's a furry too. She's so sugoi. I also like to go to the shelter because I like to really learn what it's like to be a dog. It's really
so far the cringiest thing about this video is the Supreme skateboard on the wall in the background.
Hard for me to understand this life. Also hoping there's no meanies there. I hate a mean furry. I don't get it, you guys. I can't get along with other furries. It's not.
This character that this person's portraying sort of reminds me of like a early 2000s like Disney live action sitcom type of character, but like them going through some sort of like weird scenario and it makes them act like this, where it wasn't really aimed to be like demeaning to anyone. It's just like, oh look, I'm this crazy character. But like, okay, here's why this is really cringe to me. It's not that this person's actually like this. This is clearly someone trying to be satirically like that. And like the weird movements that was going on TikTok where they're like, or however they move, I obviously can't do it. I should probably practice it though. Maybe I'll make a video where I learn how to move like TikTokers. Like going this hard into like making like jokes about him being like, oh, my non-binary friend, and like trying to drag all this other shit into like your shtick. It's just like so try hard and just kind of missing the mark. They're not funny. Like they're not making good jokes with it either. They're just like trying to be this character as exaggerated as possible. Like you could have thrown some puns in it. It's really lazy. I just sort of feel like someone putting that kind of effort into a video like this and then putting it out in the world being like, all right, go viral. Like that's more cringy to me than like if a person who actually was like in the realm of this, not exactly like this. This is a very exaggerated version of those kinds of people. But just like posting stuff to their own little world that they have on TikTok or Instagram, because there is like an absolute place for stuff like this. Yeah, that stuff doesn't really get under my skin. I'm just like, all right, people like what they like. We don't get to pick our preferences, do we? Like I remember at recess seeing all the kids that were really into anime. And this is like before anime got really big in America when I was a kid. But like, you know, we had like Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon and stuff like that. And I remember those kids would always like hang out together at the lunch table and like lightly cosplay at school. And I remember they would get made fun of, but I remember thinking like, they seem so stoked on like their little crew, their little echo chamber of saying Japanese words slightly incorrectly. Good for them. I don't know how that's cringy. That's just wild. She would literally be on Ripley's Believe It or Not in like 1991. Like they would have her on the show. For the colored hair alone and the nose piercing. That looks like such a wild surgery to get done. But yeah, I guess because could you move them individually? I wonder if like people who want it back together could just get like piercings and it looks like it got like sewed up or like stitched up. Let's see what the comments are saying. I know the head game is absolutely okay. I am not hearing any of you out. I'm ready to pretend to be liberal for an hour. What's her at? I will say that the comments on this page are always pretty damn thirsty. Bro, you have no idea how this feels. Like thinking about it right now, I don't think that it would be that sick. I thought about it. It'd be pretty sick. Yeah, it's all the same thing. Biggest hear me out.
You're pretty. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. Come here. Come to Papa.
So that one, I can't tell if that's real or not. It seems like it might be real. I think that's just someone who, like, this person's like looking at the way that people act on TikTok and this is what they're getting out of it, which says probably a lot about people on TikTok and Instagram, because like, if you do boil it down, it is always some bullshit. And like, even though this completely misses the mark, it's kind of a really funny parody. I would give it like a 2 out of 10 cringe. Oh, I've seen this. This is awkward.
It is? It is Hatsune Miku. I knew it was you. Nice to meet you, Hatsune. I hope you're having a lovely time. Bye. Hatsune Miku. I love you.
So like that scene right there, it seemed like that person, I don't know if this person was cosplaying like that to be funny, if they're just really into the character, but either way, you could tell that it was very uncomfortable for them to like probably have someone's cell phone or camera up in their face. You could tell that they probably didn't want to be in character. Yeah, I don't know. I have a little bit of a soft spot for anyone who has the kind of confidence to just unapologetically be who they want to be. And I think going to one of those anime conventions would definitely be a bit of a trip. I should probably go to one. Maybe I'll make a video about that. Because it's just like a bunch of people who all decided, like we're fully giving in to fanning out on these characters any which way that we want. And I think that's kind of sick. That hair is crazy. The only thing I know about this character is I've seen the pillows. Just the pillows. That's all I know about that character. When I first saw you, I thought you were mean. Okay, so this one might be dead serious. I don't know if this one's satire or not. Yeah, this one seems like it's real. Like I see something like this and I just see like teenage, like young teen angst and not knowing how other people will perceive you. I feel like at this age, you just start to look at yourself slightly objectively and trying to like make tweaks. I feel like that's why teenagers are just so chaotic, and whatever they come across, they try to make their personality, because they're starting to really view themselves through other people's eyes. And they're like, oh, people like this thing, so I'll just make myself this thing. There's like some study out there that says like, I forget what it is. It's like between the ages of like 13 and like 18, like you're like mentally disabled because your brain's going through so many weird changes and stuff like that. I forget the ages and the numbers, but I heard that somewhere. But you know what they say, 63% of statistics are made up right on the spot. Stephen Wright joke for you. This one's great.
Argument. You're right. I should sit down.
So yeah, I guess this girl just keeps posting herself playing on playgrounds. Like I think it might be her thing, and people are just like, dude, leave that for the children. And she's like rebelling against them, and she keeps making this face and these poses. There's one clip in here where she has someone else film it and she like thanks him for it. Well, I don't want the music to demonetize the video, but also it might be worth it. I just see a person living their best life. I don't know. She seems to be having a good time. Wait, is it this one? You're right there. There you go. Thanks so much. Yeah, all the cosplay doesn't really bother me. Like this dude's stoked. There hasn't been any like seriously cringe things for me yet.
Oh.
me, don't know, I have a boyfriend. Oh, 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 oh. Don't ask me out now. Don't ask me out now.
Crushed it. It's like, okay, if you're putting something online like this, like you gotta be thinking either people are gonna think this is funny because of the joke behind it about singing about not having a boyfriend, or people are gonna think this is cringy and it's gonna go viral. In this case, I think that they think it's gonna be funny. Like, it's sort of like, if you shoot for the stars, you can settle for the clouds. Like, if it just comes up short, maybe you'll end up in the cringe world and you'll still go just as viral as knocking out of the park. Comments are fucking vicious. The internet really has pulled out like the worst of everyone. Like, I know people talk about it all the time, but I see the most like wild comments. Like on my other channel where it's like skateboarding, and skateboarding is like a really judgy group of people. I'm all for like just regular hate, like, oh, like you're annoying in this way, or like I hate your voice, or you suck at skating. Like all that stuff's totally fine, but sometimes people get like really graphic and like go way out of their way to try to insult you in like the most random personal ways. And I just feel like that can't be good, like for people in general.